Do it?
Video crew and
Cool.
everything, so for those who aren't here, we'll be able to share some
Is it
things.
working
So-
good? Yep.
And,
Cool.
and all kinds of questions, just throw them out. You told me
Thank you.
nothing can stump him.
All right. I think we should be good. Good morning, guys. So I brought Christian over. I don't know if it's a little foreign, but we're really big on social media, so we like to document everything. If you guys are on Facebook, Instagram, I'll put up the link. You guys could see a lot of our content. That's primarily how we get most of our customers. They all come in through either Instagram or Facebook, so social media has been really a big hit for us. So my name is Andrew. I'm with Next Generation Builders. It's a really big hot topic, ADUs, especially now that it's feasible for people to do it on their property. So I kind of just wanted to break down a little bit more so you guys as realtors know exactly how to explain it for your customers, or maybe you guys want to build it as well too, so you can have really an idea on what's possible and what's not possible as well too. So we'll get right into it so you can see if Alyssa, you can go. So why next gen? So the biggest thing I think I overheard is getting like contractors to come out. Sometimes that could be a pain in the butt. You know, I know a lot of people are really busy and it's sometimes hard. You know, you'll have someone come out and then you'll wait, you know, weeks and weeks for estimates. So we like to use a lot of technology and make sure we can do feasibility reports. So an example, if your clients or someone wanted to know like what they could build, we could easily look up their address, see exactly what's possible, give them an analysis so they know exactly what they can and can't do. Especially here in Thousand Oaks and Westlake, you know, there's certain areas that are unincorporated. A lot of people have questions about that. You know, where do I go? Do I go to Thousand Oaks or do I go to Ventura County? So we can definitely assist and guide everyone through that whole entire process. So hence why we're called Next Gen, is because we like to use a lot of the technology. I mean, construction and real estate has been around for a really long time. I always say it's kind of like it's like a dinosaur industry, you know? So we want to come in and use a lot of tech to help you guys and speed up the process as well too. So if you go to the next slide, I'll go over some stuff. So does everyone here know what an ADU is? Everyone does? Okay, great. So this makes it so much easier. One thing for you guys to keep in mind is for Thousand Oaks, Westlake area, the maximum that you guys can build, or if clients want to build, is 1,000 square feet. So that's one thing you guys should keep in mind. LA City, certain parts of LA City, you can do 1,200 square feet, but here it's 1,000 square feet, just so you guys know. Yeah, go for it.
Ventura County alone?
Ventura County, it can be Westlake, it can be Thousand Oaks. So they all have a different ordinance, but it's the same requisite. So you can build 1,000 square feet. So they all allow 1,000 max, just so you know. Yeah.
Is that for attached and detached?
Correct. Yeah, attached and detached, you can do 1,000.
Is there a minimum size? that
Yeah,
has to be?
150 square feet. That's the minimum. So I think the smallest one that we've done is probably, it was in South Pasadena. It was a one-car garage, 200 square feet. But we can also help with the design. So I think that's the biggest thing is, you know, when you guys are doing research and clients are probably wanting to know more, you know, the first thing you want to do is a design. So it's important to hire someone, you know, that is specifically designing ADUs, because a lot of times architects are really designing much bigger spaces. So the mentality is a little bit different when they come and try to design a small space, you know. So maximizing the space is also a really important thing to make sure that a 200 square foot unit doesn't feel like it's 200 square feet. You want it to maximize as much as possible. Okay, so everyone knows about ADUs, so we can go to this. I'm guessing everyone knows what a detached and an attached ADU. Okay, great. So that's pretty straightforward. We can go to the next one. Some facts about ADUs. So I think the biggest one is a junior ADU. Does anyone here know what a junior ADU is? No? Okay, so a junior ADU, just so you guys know, and here in Ventura, Westlake, or Thousand Oaks, we were doing some research, and of course the ordinance is the same, but it's just going to depend on where you are and where you're going to submit it, depending on what city you're in. So just so you guys know, a junior ADU, everyone here, you guys can do it. You can do two. You can do a junior ADU and you can do an ADU. So the junior ADU is maximum 500 square feet, just so you guys know. This is really great, so you can tell your clients they can literally turn their single family home into a duplex essentially, right? Because they're going to be able to have 2 units. So the junior ADU has to at least use 180 square feet of the existing space of the home. The pros and cons. People like it because they can make it into another unit. Some people don't like it because, of course, now you're taking away space from the existing portion of the house. So you're going to lose that square footage. But you can do it up to 500 square feet. So let me give you an example. Let's say I have a 1,200 square foot home. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. my bedroom, I want to convert a portion of it into a junior ADU, but I can also do an addition to it. Does that make sense? So that would be called a junior ADU. And then let's say I have room in my backyard and I can also build a detached ADU. So essentially we'd have like three units, the main house, the junior, and the ADU as well too, okay?
Garage part of that, square footage for the junior ADU?
No, yeah, because that's not habitable space. That's a garage. Yeah, so it's only habitable space that you guys could use. So we could go to the next one. You guys can see. All right, so I think someone was asking this too. How long does it take? I think that's the biggest question, because usually a lot of people want to build right away and they want to have it done and start collecting cash flow or have their in-laws move in there. So we're seeing right now the state law says that they have to approve it within 60 days, but they're not really abiding to that because there's so much implode. A lot of people are sending over a lot of plans and permits and designs to the city. So roughly our time frame right now is about 3 to 5 months for approval on planning, just so you guys know. I think that's across the board with any any design to build firm. It's going to take about 3 to 5 months for plans and permits to all get approved. And then of course when you start construction depending on the size of the build, whether it's a garage conversion or maybe it's a new construction ADU, that could take anywhere from 90 days to about 4 to 6 months, just depending on what exactly you're building, just so you guys know.
I have a
yeah.
question. If you convert the garage, you have to make sure that there is a parking space on your property for your cars?
So what they require, and that's a really good question, at least a bus stop within half a mile. If not, then we have to do we can get away with doing like a tandem parking, like a carport or something like that, if you do convert your garage. Yeah. Any other questions? No? We're good? Okay, we go to the next slide. All right, so I want to show you guys some of the ones that we've done. Right now, I think the most popular one that we're seeing right now, just so you guys know, is people are wanting to convert their garage. I think that's the most popular one. It's going to be the most cost effective and it's going to be the easiest. Why? Because we already have an existing structure there. You don't have to build new construction. So this is one that we did that was a garage conversion. If you go back, you can see this was before, and then here you go to the next one, you can see after. So this was 360 square feet. You can stay there. And we were able to fit a bedroom in there, a kitchen, a patio door. This is like the dining area right here. And then you go to the next slide, you'll be able to see a mini split. So we recommend to do a mini split unless it's a bigger unit. Yes, you can put central AC, but a mini split for a garage is more than enough. You can heat and cool the whole entire place. You go to the next slide. Here we had a vanity, and of course here's the walk-in shower. So plus or minus, this one came out to about $115,000, a garage conversion. We designed this one and we built it. So this one all in, the city, it took about 90 days for them to approve it because it's a much easier design to approve. And to build it, this took us 90 days. So all in, this took about 4 to 6 months for the customer to finish it. And then they're actually Airbnb-ing it as well too. So go for it.
What square feet was that?
365. Yeah.
Does that 115,000 include permitting?
Yeah, this was all in. Yeah, all in costs, yeah. So you guys can get an idea. So I like to show this one because a lot of people, when you see a garage, you typically think, how is someone going to live in here? You know, so that's where we really come in and design it and are able to showcase something like this. You know, so someone ideally would be living in there, of course. Any questions? No? Cool. Go to the next one. So this is another one. This one's 480 square feet. I'm just showing you guys the most popular ones that we see right now. We do, just so you guys know, we do about 200 of these a year. So it's really, really, really progressing a lot right now. So we looked at our database and we did an analysis, what's the most popular. Of course, we get people that do 1,200, 800 garage conversions, and the one that was carrying the weight were people that had a garage and converting their garage into an additional dwelling unit. So this is just on our database, the most popular ones, which I like to show you guys as well too. So this was a garage, a 2-car garage, and they did an addition, like another 100 square feet to just give more space. So you can see, of course, this one has shaker cabinets, vinyl flooring. And you go to the next one. Of course, a nice custom barn vanity right there, and then tile, and the bathtub there. So very minimalistic. Because we did an addition, that was a little bit more. So this one came out to about $135,000 plus or minus, of course, depending on the finishes as well too. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Finishes, I'm sure you guys know, that can increase or decrease the cost as well too. Any questions? No? Okay, we can go to the next one. So what we use to really track everything, of course, because it is a dinosaur industry, I know a lot of the times contractors will commit a lot of stuff to memory, old school, pen to paper, which is not bad, but we really want to give you guys a good customer experience and for everyone. So we use an app called Builder-Trend, where you'll be able to see daily logs. If there's any change orders, we put that on the Builder-Trend app. It'll give you notifications. You'll know exactly every timeline there is with your project from start all the way to finish. So we go to the next one. So you can see these are all the areas that we covered. These are all the projects that we have going on right now. As you can see, a couple in Thousand Oaks, Moore Park area, and Port Hueneme. But a lot is going on in the LA City area as well too, so you guys can see. So I pulled this up for you. You guys can see the rent-o-meter. Here, these are just average rental prices that we're seeing for the sizes of ADUs. Of course, the most common one is 400 square feet. So you can see we have an average rent for about $1,600 a month for a 400 square foot studio. And then for 600 square feet, you're seeing an average of $1,800 a month. And then of course for 1,000, you're seeing about $2,200 a month, So it's not bad for rental. Huh?
It's a lot more here.
I'm sure, yeah, a lot more here in Westlake area, Thousand Oaks, definitely, yeah. So we go to the next one. Okay, so here you can see Thousand Oaks. So 400 square feet, it jumped up, $1,600 a month. 800 square feet, you're seeing about $2,500 a month, and 1,000, you're seeing about $2,600 a month if we focus on Thousand Oaks. So you can see there. Go to the next one. And then this is Westlake Village. You could go to the next one. Here are rental prices, so you guys can take it, get an idea. If you want to screenshot it, definitely can. Go to the next one, Alyssa. And then the housing prices as well here too. You guys can take a screenshot. I'm also going to send this over to you, and then you guys can have all this information, so that way you guys have it. Yeah. And then of course the housing crisis. There's a big housing shortage, as you guys know. Where we start to see more of the red area, that's where you see it's starting to get pretty bad. So I like to show this, and I'll send it to you guys so you guys can have it as well for data. And then here, we have a huge growth coming along as well too with the population. So you can see we continuously have more people coming, but not enough housing. So I was reading an article the other day about we need about like 2.5 million homes built by 2030. I don't know if you guys saw that on the news. So there's a huge housing shortage. So that's another thing why we wanted to come in and into this industry, is to really help build more houses, because it's getting pretty bad with not enough housing on the market. So as long as we can continue to do it, I think it'll help. Yes.
Are you involved also in a lot split if they want a standalone parcel number and the ADU?
That's good. So that's called SB9. I don't know if you guys heard about that. It's really popular. We definitely can do that. We can do SB9. Just so you guys know, that is a much longer process, because if you have two different parcels, if you have one parcel, then you're going to have to subdivide it into another parcel. Now, one thing to keep in mind if you guys want to use this, if you do a parcel split, you can't just build an ADU on the second parcel. So you have to have a single family home there, and then you can build the ADU, just for you guys to know. A lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to split it, build an ADU, and then I can sell it. They won't let you. They have to build a single family home, and then you can do the ADU, just so you guys know.
What if it's the opposite? You build the ADU and then it's split?
You can't split it with the ADU. They won't allow you. Yeah, you can only split. It has to just be pure land, and then you have to build a single family home and then build the ADU if you wanted to.
Because one of my clients, the lot is long.
It's big?
And he has built an ADU, and he's trying to split it now, so he can't.
No, it's going to be really tough. Yeah, there's an ordinance, and I can also send it over to Craig so you guys can see the ordinance, and gives you all that information. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. Today I just wanted to cover more general information so you guys can get familiar with us. I think this is all about establishing a relationship. We have a lot of customers as well too that are wanting to obviously build it so they can sell it, right? So, and then vice versa, I'm sure, with you guys too. So, yeah, go for it.
So, current house. So it's a single family dwelling. I add an
ADU,
a detached ADU.
Yeah.
How does the city permit that? Because it's all in the same APN number.
Yeah, so it's not going to be a separate house. It's going to be all one APN number.
Yes.
Yes. So so I get that question a lot too. Can I build an ADU and then can I sell my main house and then sell the ADU? No, you cannot sell the ADU. That's all one.
All one.
It's all one,
Right.
yes.
How does the city permit that? Is it a single-family house with an ADU?
Yes, that's how.
So it's not a two-unit property?
It's not a 2-unit property. Yeah, just so you know. I mean, I say 2 units because it is essentially like 2 units, but it's not actually 2 units. Yeah, so that's how the city records it. But I say it in a sense where a lot of investors, they hear that, right? Because at the end of the day, they can rent the main house and they can rent the ADU. So that's like you're getting 2 incomes from there as well too. But yeah, you're right on that one. Yeah.
How about your address?
Oh, great. So you can definitely put a separate address. I think that's what makes it feel like a second unit too. So you can add a half, or you can, like, for example, if the address is 2213 Hart Street, you can make it 2213 and a half Hart Street.
But the mail post office doesn't recognize it.
They do. They do, yes. So we go through, we pass it all through the city, and it'll even have its own separate mailbox. One thing to keep in mind, thank you for bringing this up, is you can separate the utilities as well too. So you can separate the electricity and you can separate the gas. So it really does feel like a second unit, but it doesn't because the city doesn't allow you to separate the water. So the water has to be tied in to the main house, just so you guys know. Yeah.
There's no water anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So I always say, you know, if someone's living in the garage, I mean, how much utilities are they really going to use? But then again, you never know, you know? Hopefully, maybe running the water all day long. But what we do for those customers, we put a water meter so that way they can know exactly how much usage they're using. So that way they can, you know, maybe include that in the rent, or, you know, they figure out how they want to do it. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? No? All right. Yeah.
Oh, you're probably gonna get to it, but just about the architectural style of it, and does it have to match the house, and the slope of the roof have to match the house?
Yeah. So typically they require that. Some areas don't, but it does look a little funky when it doesn't match. You know, it's like sticks out like a sore thumb. So with all of our designs, we really recommend to match it, because or else it literally feels like 2 different, like black and white, you know? HOAs, just so you guys know, HOAs definitely want everything to be consistent. A lot of things, we were talking about this earlier, is people think that you can't build in an HOA. So everything, just so you guys know, goes based off of the state ordinance. It's the state that mandated and passed this, just so you guys know. So an HOA, by law, they can't not allow you to build an ADU, although you might have to, you know, really pull some hair and kind of really just fight through it. But at the end of the day, they will allow you to build an ADU in HOA areas. So if you have clients that are planning on purchasing in an HOA area and they want to build, they definitely can. It just might take a little bit longer. That's the only thing. Yeah.
What other rules are there? Is there a minimum lot size?
Yeah, so one thing to keep in mind too is people, you know, if they have usually a bigger backyard, I get a lot of times where customers are like, you know, I want the ADU to be tucked right in the corner because I want to save all the yard space. I don't want this big building right in my backyard and just completely take away my whole lot. So the requisite is that you have to maintain setbacks. So they want at least a 10-foot distance from the main house. So it's not like you can have this building like 5 feet away from the house, okay?
Unless you attach it.
Unless you attach it, exactly. This is for detached units.
What about the lot line?
4 feet. So they want, it's really easy now. Yeah, yeah. So before,
My neighbor's building one in their backyard, so
Uh-huh.
it can be 4 feet from.
from the
my
property line,
Kind of in your backyard.
literally, yeah, yeah, yeah. So just so you guys know, so they passed the ordinance in 2016, and then 2020 is when they modified it. But if you look back at the records in 2016, I mean, it wasn't popular. Not many people were doing it because the ordinances and the rules were just a lot harder to comply with. You know, before it used to be like a 10-foot setback from your property line. You have to be 20 feet away from your house. So, I mean, you have a 7,000 square foot lot. You have a 2,000 square foot home, and I mean, at the end of the day, you can only build maybe 400 square feet for the people that want to maximize it. So it was really tough. So that's why it wasn't so popular when the ordinance got passed in 2016. But what happened is 2020, they noticed not a lot of people were building, and they're like, what the heck? We just passed this ordinance to stop the housing shortage. So they changed it, they modified it, and now it's very favorable for people that want to do it. So 4 feet is all they require from the property, from the rear and the sides of the property line, and just a 10-foot from the main house, and you can build. Yeah, so it makes it very feasible for people wanting to build. Yeah.
you know, more cars, adopting that. Is there any studies that you've done on that?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I don't know. That's one of the things, you know, with parking as well too. There's the thing is they're wanting it, they're doing it to stop the housing shortage. Now, at the same time, I was thinking about this the other day because some guy literally messaged us and he's like, "Oh, good luck with everyone on your street building it. No one's going to be able to find parking." I don't think it's going to happen to that extent. You know, I don't think everyone in one neighborhood is going to build an ADU. I think that's, you know, that's like saying like I'm going to sell real estate to everyone on that whole. I mean, maybe you never know, but the chances of that happening is, I think, is pretty slim. But that's one of the, I would say, downsides to it. Of course, right? Is that, you know, if everyone were to do it on your street, yeah, it'd be a little tough with parking. Yeah. So one thing to consider, definitely.
And then my other question is, say we have a listing that has, you know, pretty large lot, 15,000 square feet, let's say, lots of open space in the back. Do you guys ever do any kind of like virtual, like a footprint of what it could look like so that it could help us promote a lot?
Yeah.
What it could be?
So I guess depending on what you see as you guys talk to more clients and you see like what is it that they're looking to build, we can start to do some models for you guys. Maybe you show them, just so you have it on your phone and show them. But yeah, we do renderings and models for all of our customers so they can at least know like a footprint on what the design is going to look like. So we'll do some like models. I can actually probably pull one up here so you guys can see. Because yeah, I think a lot of times, you know, you think 300 square feet, and I mean, a lot of people think 300 square feet, there's like what am I going to fit in there, you know? So
You have to move to Italy to see.
to see, right? Exactly, yeah. So, but I think with our designers, we're really able to kind of showcase a lot. So I want to show you guys this one so you guys can see. Yeah. See if I can find this one. Okay, perfect. So I'll airdrop it here. This will be cool. Just open that. Cool. So these are cool. These are some models you guys can see. So I'll show you. So, and I'll send you guys this too. I'll send it to you, Craig. You can send it out. But this is what really makes you at least enable and envision to know what the space is going to look like. So this is a studio. So essentially this would be like a garage, like a 2-car garage if someone were to convert it. This is just a model you can see. Here's the entrance, very minimalistic too. You know, we don't want to over design, right? Because then it's going to make it feel very congested. But you could see L-shaped kitchen, little dining area. I mean, this can be like a Murphy bed, right? So you can lift it up and then make it really, really open. You have a little closet and then a door to go into the bedroom. So, you know, this is like essentially a 2-car garage, and at least you can see a model on what that looks like as well too. You can go to the next one. And then here, of course, you see a 1-bedroom can fit into 486 square feet, which is like the second picture I showed you. That garage that was 400 was about 130,000 plus or minus. That would be something like this, right? So imagine you have a garage and then you want to do an extension just a little bit. Now you're able to fit something like this inside, right? Where you have your entrance, you have your L-shaped kitchen here, living room area, bathroom, and then a door here to go into the bedroom, and then your closet area with some windows to let some natural light inside, right? And then of course, you know, we know this exact size is not going to fit probably on your property. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, then of course we can just redesign it to make it, you know, fit. Maybe relocate the entrance or something like that. And I want to show you guys a 2-bedroom one so you guys can see. Just keep going. Right here. Go back. So this is one of the most popular ones with this design. Of course, we like this one a lot. A lot of people do is because there's not a shared wall between the 2 bedrooms. And keep in mind, this is only 644 square feet. So, you know, you hear that number a lot of times and you think, what am I going to fit in there, right? We could fit 2 bedrooms, a bath, and people will live in here. So you see, you have your entrance here. What I like about this is right when you walk in with our designs, we want to make an open concept. Obviously, that's pretty popular now. So there's no dividing walls where it makes it feel really tight and congested. So you walk in and it's a big open concept. You know, you have your living room area, you have your L-shaped kitchen. If I go to here, you'll see here, this is the washer and dryer up here. So the washer and dryer would be right in here. So you also have washer and dryer, which is nice. And then you go into this little hallway and there's a split. So you can go to the bedroom, the other bedroom, and then the guest here can go right into the bathroom. So this is one of our most popular designs when it comes to a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. I would say for that one, plus or minus, if it's new construction, I'd say anywhere from 160 to 180,000, just depending on the finishes and what people choose. But yeah, that was just some of the models that I wanted to show. Of course, we can also do 2-story. Like this is a if you go back, this is a 2-story. So they kept the garage and then they just built right on top. So you can see that a lot of times people, they don't want to convert their garage because then where does their storage go? That's another big concern that people have as well too. So they'll just build on top of their garage, and then we can do like an overhang where we can fit 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bathroom, and you can go back one more, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. You could go to the other slide if you want. The first one. Up. Yeah.
Question.
Go for it.
If you go over the garage, do you have to dig deeper footings?
What happened?
If you go over the garage, do you have to dig deeper footings?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so, because the garage is only sustained for that load, right? So now if we're going to add a second load on top, then of course the foundation is going to need to get reinforced because that existing foundation wasn't meant to be supported for a second load on top. So one thing to keep in mind, and I know foundation work can get pretty expensive, so also keep that in mind when budgeting and estimating for potentially doing a second story ADU. Yeah.
Typically on the detached
Mhm.
ones, do you see a lot of hardscape that you have to do outside afterwards?
Yeah. Good.
Is that included in the cost?
Yeah, that is included in the cost, of course. That's where it's going to depend. That's where we say plus or minus, depending on how big the trench is going to be. Some people have really big lots, and their water line, their electrical line, their sewer line, everything will be in the front of the house. And if they have a really big lot and they want to build a detached ADU all the way in the back, that's about a 150-foot trench. So a lot of people forget about that. It's like, one of the first things you need to do is you need to run all the utilities, right? So it's like, we're not just going to make them appear, so we have to trench literally from the backyard all the way to the front, right? So it helps, the cost helps is if it's all dirt, that's wonderful, because it's an easier trench, but now imagine someone that doesn't have dirt, it's all concrete, so we have to jackhammer it, open it, then trench it, and then run all the utilities, right? So one thing to keep in mind when understanding where you want to build, So yeah, that was a good question. Oh, and one thing I want to let you guys know, I'm not sure if you guys know, but any new houses up after 2020, that's new construction, the state requires that you guys put solar panels on it. So if you guys didn't know that. But if it's an attached or a garage conversion, you don't need to put solar panels on it. Yeah, LED. Any other questions? Yeah.
It's just sort of one-stop shopping.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're
To deal with a bunch of,
Yeah, middleman, subcontractors, day laborers. Yeah, we really wanted to organize everything into one hub. So we're able to do the design, the engineering, we'll submit it to the city, and we can also build the ADU as well too. So I think that's what people really look for in today's market, is not having to put on the contractor hat and then find an architect and then submit it to the city and then find a GC. People come to us because they just want a one-stop shop and they just kind of want the headache, out of their way. So.
What is the permit cost?
Good question. So blueprints, I would say, well, we put everything in together, but of course there is some customers that, maybe you run into that they just want to hire an architect to do it, and maybe they came from a construction background and they're just going to build it on their own. So people sometimes just want like permits or blueprints, right? That's a good question that I get asked all the time. Can you guys just do the plans for us, the blueprints? I'm going to have my dad build it. We can. Usually that soft cost is around, I would say, $7,500 to $10,000 just for planning and permitting. So just to keep in mind.
Including the permit?
Exactly. Yeah. Permit fees, you're going to see typically around $1,500 to $2,500 that you'll end up paying in city fees and permit fees to the city as you go through the whole entitlement process, just so you guys know.
They reduced it. It was about 20-some thousand when they started.
Yeah, it's expensive, very expensive. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
Have you guys ever dealt with like building an ADU where there's kind of slope?
Yeah.
Where the ground slopes and like cutting into it?
Yeah, so that's hillside, like hillside properties. So keep in mind, like the pre-construction cost is going to be a lot more, and of course building costs, because you have to get to the bedrock or you have to grade it out. So in those cases, typically we see a lot of more cost on the pre-construction. An example, like a soils engineer, you'll need to get like a soils report. They'll need to test the dirt in the soil. Of course, a grading report, well, they'll need to grade and get the report on that. You'll most likely need to get a survey to know exactly where is the actual property line. So hillside, definitely good return, but you're going to spend a little bit more money just because it's on a slope. Whereas the flatland is just way easier to build. Yeah. But hillsides also do take a little bit longer with building and safety for them to review as well too, because it's going to be on a slope.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there something about how tall it can be?
Yeah, 18 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. 18 feet is the maximum height. Yeah.
What if you're building it over a garage?
Same thing. Yeah.
Isn't there a law that it can't be higher than the peak roof line of the city?
That depends on where it is. Every city is a little bit different. I know here 18 feet. Actually, Craig knows Leah, and she's doing on top of her garage. So that's like over, that's right at 18 feet. So and that's in Thousand Oaks. Yeah, we're doing hers.
So what did you have to do, because their house is a flat roof?
So we
You
did
do
flat
on the
roof.
top as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, flat roof. So we made it consistent. Yeah. Just I like to make sure everything is matching. It just looks a little off when you have a pitch roof and then a flat roof on the house. I never understood that. So we like to make sure everything is pretty consistent. Yeah.
Have you had clients come to you and say, I'm having trouble with getting the permitting for the ADU, I don't have enough space, I just want to get a tiny house instead? And then are there problems with that? It's prefabricated or it's built off-site, transported to the lot, has to have wheels, doesn't have to have wheels, there's confusion around that.
Yeah. So that's like a prefab home, like a manufactured home.
Not necessarily, it's built out of wood, but it's made off-site and then
Delivered.
in.
Yes, yes. So we don't do that. We don't just pre-make them and then come and deliver them. I know that when they do that, they have to have a foundation and then they put it right on top of the foundation. That's typically how that works.
And the utilities.
Of course, and the utilities, of course, right? So we just stay away from that. There's a lot less comps. They label that a lot differently from when we've been doing some study. I don't think you actually get tangible equity towards the actual home versus like an ADU. Again, these are all newer things that are now starting to have more of a name and people are talking about it more. But I would say the cost difference is primarily somewhat the same, maybe less to go with the prefab, but we just stay away from that. We just focus on stick built. Yeah. Yep.
She was asking about the slope, like building something on a slope.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning getting the soil tested and that kind of thing. Is that something that would be on the homeowner before they contact you, or would you include that as part of the process?
We would include that as part of the process. So what we do before we even give it like a bid is you would let us know where you want to build. We get all this data, and then based on where you are and where you want to build, we would let you know all the costs that would be included. So if you're on a hillside, we tell you, okay, well, hillside, you're going to need a soil report, grading report, this, and that. Or if you're flatland, then it's very straightforward. Yeah. But we do it because we know that the city's going to require it. That's the only reason why. Or else, we can do it, but 9 out of 10 times they always require it for a hillside, especially if it's a big slope. Yeah.
One more thing about the slope.
Yeah.
And because I want to do it in my own house.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
And I've done a lot of research, but so we have this slope, and we want to try to get like a little farther back to the property line.
Yeah.
So what we were thinking is we could kind of like have the ADU like raised a little bit so that it's set back farther, like into the hill.
Oh, like compact the
Yeah.
dirt and push it. Okay.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
but would the 18 feet be from the ground up or from the bottom of the ADU up? If it's like
It starts.
4 feet off the ground.
So the way that that's a good question. The way that they calculate is from the foundation. So
Okay.
wherever the foundation is, 18 feet from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just so you know.
And is that something that you're allowed to do, like have it kind of raised?
Of course, yeah. We've been doing a lot of more hillside. Of course, hillside, just so you guys know, it's a little bit more complicated as well too, because you have to do additional reports. Like for example, like I bought a property in El Sereno, LA, hillside, very steep, but over there they made me do like a tree report as well too, because there's a lot of trees. So just extra costs that I always like people to be aware of. So I had to do there a tree report, I had to do a soils report, grading, of course, architectural engineering. They also made me do a boundary survey as well too. So those are, I would say, probably about 5 reports, where a traditional flat land, you're just going to need to do architectural engineering and submit it, and you'll be fine. So just a couple more steps, but definitely worth it when you do hillside. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
Do you find any issues, especially with the sewer line, tying into the existing sewer line? And do they ever are you ever required by the city or the county that you're dealing with to upgrade what's existing to tie in?
So you're not required to update it. I mean, we'll see that when we start to do the work. You know, we'll trench, like an example, we'll trench open the area and we'll look and, you know, I mean, if the water line has like holes in it, you know, I mean, I'm going to tell you, hey, I think it's best you replace it. I mean, we can leave it, but I'm pretty sure in 6 months it's just going to burst, you know, your sewer line or something like that. Yeah. So what we do before we even build it is we send someone to go out and they'll run a camera. So at least we can know exactly how the utilities and what shape they're in. And then we send that footage over to the homeowner for them, at least, you know, for whoever it is that wants to do it, to decide, okay, maybe I want to upgrade it or not. Because keep in mind, the biggest expenses when building a home or anything is usually going to be your utilities, your foundation, and your framing. Those are the 3 hardest trades to do, and that's why people decide to stay away from it. Everything else is fairly a lot easier, you know, put a roof, windows, and, you know, of course, kitchens and painting and all that. A lot of people do it themselves as well too. But those are the hardest ones, which are the most expensive ones, just to keep in mind. Yeah.
So how do you get separate utilities?
We have to do that with the city. So we let them know prior to actually building it. So there's a package where it says, how is this ADU going to be? Is it going to be tied into the main house, or is it going to have its own independent utilities? So we let the city know that, so that way when we start to build, we already start to separate the utilities. And of course, keep in mind that when we're building it, we're not just building it right away. We'll do a trade, and then an inspector comes, and they have to pass inspection, and then we can continue to the next trade. Yeah. So inspector is, I always say, on everyone's side, because he wants to make sure that the work is done correctly in order to continue to the next process. Yeah.
CAR, California Association of Realtors,
Yeah.
recently promoted this. It's called Symbium.com, and they'll plug in an address, and it'll show you where
Yes.
you can do. Are you guys familiar?
Yes,
with
it's funny, I was actually looking at that yesterday. Someone told me about it.
Pretty new.
It's very new, yes. So yes, Symbium.com, that allows you to, and good thing I watched that video, because if I didn't see that, I would have not known what that is. So it's a website where you can more or less understand what's possible to build on your lot. It's not 100% accurate, so we always say triple check by calling the city and making sure you understand what you can and can't build. But Symbium, you can type in your address and it'll technically show you what you can do, what your zoning is, how big you can build in that area, is it a fire zone, you know, all the requisites on what you can and can't do. So you can look at it, but it's, you know, don't take 100% of, you know, the info from there. I'd say it's like, I don't know how you guys do it, but maybe, you know, Zillow, you know, it's pretty accurate, right? I'm sure you get, right? But we don't.
50-50.
Exactly. So that's Symbium. That's perfect example. Yeah. So that's how I see it. So just, you got to triple check. Anything else? Everyone good? So, yep. So you guys can, on your phone, if you guys want more information, you can, this is the QR code, so you'll be able to see more stuff from us and get more information. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to keep it short, unless there's anything else you guys have. Hopefully that was helpful. Yep. All right.
Very good.
I'll leave it to you.
Thank
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Hey, before we wrap up, Mike, just going through my mind, from a lending standpoint,